Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with 5 times Max Verstappen broke Formula 1. Before we dive in, make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up. Max, how you break the sport, bro?
Max Verstappen's influence on Formula 1 cannot be overemphasized. The Dutch sensation has been so dominant that his words, actions and driving style have led the FIA to change regulations a few times. But why would Formula 1's governing body bend its rules over one driver? And what does the rest of the field think about it? Well, here are 5 instances where Max Verstappen broke Formula 1. Age limit. Verstappen's racing career has been nothing short of incredible. From dominating karting circuits to competing in Formula 3, his rise was meteoric.
Yeah, it was.
So we try to continue like this. We are halfway only, so we will see.
But it was his remarkable leap into Formula 1 that truly set him apart. In 2015, at just 17 years old, Verstappen made history, becoming the youngest ever driver to compete in Formula 1.
Crazy.
Miles will be out at 18 years and 227 days old. Max Verstappen wins a Formula 1 Grand Prix and is the youngest driver ever to win a Formula 1 World Championship.
Many critics...
That's truly phenomenal. But it's Max. I mean, his life has been filled being great when it comes to driving.
Argued he was too young, but Red Bull and Toro Rosso saw something special in the Dutchman. They gave him all the support he needed, and he repaid their faith by scoring 49 points and finishing 12th in the drivers' standings. On top of that, Verstappen won 3 honours, including Rookie of the Year.
Max Verstappen, Rookie of the Year.
Incredible.
Interesting season. I mean, we had a great car also this season. It's a bit of a shame, of course, we couldn't get the results we wanted with it, but definitely next year will be...
Personality of the Year and Action of the Year. This fairy tale debut season announced Verstappen as a future star, but ultimately the concerns about his age refused to go away. In response to these complaints, the FIA announced new changes stating that from 2016, drivers must be at least 18 years old to receive a super license. In addition, the governing body ruled that drivers must spend a minimum of 2 years in minor formulas before making the jump to Formula 1.
I can understand they didn't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? We can't be having too many Max Verstappens out here. And then, I mean, at the same time, you also do got to look out for safety, because it's like, not everybody's going to be Max Verstappen that would have tried to make that jump that fast, and things wouldn't have ended as greatly. But I don't know if I agree. My thing is if you're talented enough, man, I know this sport is one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Because one wrong move going that fast in a car, and that could be the end for you. So I'll just go ahead and agree with that rule. I'll go ahead and agree with that rule, man. Because of the danger of Formula 1. A lot of other sports I don't agree with you having to like play in like college or be a certain age. I feel like if you're good enough, then you're good enough. But because due to the danger of Formula 1, I'll agree with you.
Fortunately, Verstappen had reached the required age by the time this law came into effect in 2016. The Verstopper. 2 years after the minimum age limit rule was implemented, Verstappen would cause another significant change in Formula 1, but this time it had nothing to do with the law. Fresh off his victory in Malaysia,
Time as a 20-year-old now, Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix and takes the Malaysia Grand Prix for Red Bull.
and a P2 finish in Japan, the Dutchman arrived at the 2017 United States Grand Prix aiming for his 3rd consecutive podium. However, a poor qualifying session saw him finish in P16, nearly dashing his hopes. Nevertheless, Verstappen recovered well on Sunday, executing a series of overtakes to reach P5 by lap 13.
That's crazy.
As the race unfolded,
P5 by lap 13 is absolutely wild.
Verstappen's pace was evident, and on the last lap, he pulled a brilliant maneuver on Kimi Raikkonen to reach P3.
Now Max Verstappen, if Kimi is trying to hold him up, has got the opportunity. Verstappen is ahead of Kimi Raikkonen.
Despite being a brilliant move, the stewards deemed it a foul, citing that Verstappen gained an advantage by leaving the track.
Might hear a little bit more about that.
he has a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Based on this conclusion, the Dutchman was handed a 5-second penalty, which dropped him down to P4. Expectedly, this decision was met with strong criticism from Verstappen, who accused the stewards of trying to kill the sport.
And you know, they're on a good way to kill the sport like this. Champ.
Christian Horner also joined the conversation.
I was about to go, yeah, I'd have been heated too, dog. But I mean, I guess rules is rules. Rules is rules. But yeah, that's an upsetting one.
The Red Bull team principal argued that a curb should have been installed around the chicane where the incident happened. And surprisingly, the FIA took his suggestion to heart. Ahead of the 2018 United States Grand Prix, they announced that low curbs will be mounted around the area where Max went off in 2017. Safety car rules. While Verstappen's first Formula One title was deserved, it was plagued by some last-minute controversy at the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
We'll never forget.
Locked in a season-long battle, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton entered this title-deciding race level on points. Adding to the drama, the Dutch driver lined his car in P1 directly ahead of Hamilton, who qualified in P2. This set the stage for an interesting race that would go down as one of the most controversial in Formula One history. As soon as the lights went out, Hamilton got the better start, diving into the first corner ahead of Verstappen. From then on, the Mercedes racer controlled the race and looked set to win it. Well, that was until Nicholas Latifi crashed into the barrier in lap 53.
That's crazy. It was all but one in lap at that point, dog. It was all but over. The fact that this happened, you know, they say to win championships, you got to be great. You got to work hard. You got to have a dedication. You got to put all the time and you got to do everything right. But at the end of the day, it also takes a little luck being on your side.
Nicholas Latifi has crashed. That will be a safety car. This now completely changes the context of this race.
The safety car came out as expected and Verstappen seized the opportunity to swap tyres. Hamilton, on the other hand, opted to stay out on his hard tyres. At the time, it looked like the Mercedes racer had made the right decision, but everything changed when race director Michael Massey announced that only 5 of the 8-lap cars would be allowed to pass Hamilton. This left the Mercedes racer exposed to Verstappen in the final lap.
To the final lap of this race, and Verstappen sets after Hamilton. Is it going to be a first world championship for Verstappen?
And considering that the Dutchman was running on fresh tyres, there was only going to be one winner. Verstappen executed a daring overtake in turn 5 to clinch the championship in a heart-stopping finale. Amidst the title celebration, the FIA received several complaints about Massey's decision to allow only 5 cars to unlap themselves. After extensive deliberations, the governing body decided to reword the safety car regulation regarding lap cars. The old rule, which Massey presumably applied during the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, states that any cars that have been lapped by the leader will be required to pass the cars on the lap lead and the safety car. But with the new modification, the word any was changed to all, meaning that if a similar scenario should happen again, all lap cars will be allowed to unlap themselves. And this was yet another instance where an incident related to Verstappen forced the FIA to change its rules.
I understand, but I understand why they did that. At the end of the day, like, so many eyes were on that race, dog. Like, that rivalry that year had brought so many eyes to Formula One that, like, you gotta get the cars out the way and let the two go mano a mano at the end and let them drive. And it just worked out better for Verstappen that he did stop and get those tires. But I've said about that season many times, some things went Verstappen's way that season, and a lot of things didn't go his way that season. So when it comes to the calls made and against him, so I think he did deserve to win, but I think Lewis deserved to win too. So I'm not mad about the decision that was made, I'll say that.
And speaking about rules, we've got only one on this channel, and to comply with it, all you have to do is smash the like button on your screen. Now, let's get back to the video. Pit lane overtaking. Unlike his first title in 2021, Max Verstappen's triumph in the 2023 F1 season was unparalleled. His
Yeah.
supremacy was
It was
such that winning
crazy.
often felt like a formality before the race even began. But while
Facts.
Verstappen was creating records on the track, the FIA was busy cooking up a new rule to legalise overtaking in the pit lane. This rule came into effect at the 2023 Brazilian Grand Prix with hopes that it would prevent cars from blocking each other in the pit.
Oh my
However,
God.
it wasn't well received by some drivers who believed it could lead to a serious accident. Despite these protests, the FIA stuck to its decision until Max Verstappen sparked a change at the 2023 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It all started during the second free practice when the Red Bull racer was held up multiple times by other drivers as he navigated the narrow tunnel pit exit. Eventually, Verstappen muscled his way through, but once he got to the front, he reduced his speed significantly. While his actions were legal, some drivers took exception to it, claiming it was dangerous. As soon as the practice session was done, the issue was reported to FIA officials, who moved swiftly to address it. In a complete U-turn of its initial decision, the governing body banned overtaking in the pit lane with immediate effect. Confirming this rule change, race director Neal said, "Overtaking is prohibited in the pit exit road unless a car slows with an obvious problem." The Verstappen rule. Verstappen's debut season left a lasting impression on the entire Formula One grid. His driving style revolutionised the sport in a way that we'd never seen before, forcing both his competitors and the FIA to sit up and take notice. But during his second season, some of his tactics, particularly his aggressive moves under braking, began to create a lot of controversy. Interestingly, Verstappen deployed these tactics to great success against Kimi Raikkonen at the 2016 Hungarian Grand Prix and later against Lewis Hamilton at the 2016 Japanese Grand Prix. And somehow, he escaped punishment on both occasions despite multiple complaints. However, after many protests, the FIA was forced to intervene during a driver's briefing at the Circuit of the Americas. As part of this intervention, race director Charlie Whiting updated the event notes to prohibit drivers from changing direction under braking. According to the revised race note, no car may be driven in a manner which could be potentially dangerous to other drivers. Additionally, Whiting emphasized that racers are prohibited from making any maneuver that's liable to hinder other drivers, such as any abnormal change of direction. In conclusion, he explained that any change of direction under braking that forces another driver to take evasive action will be considered potentially dangerous and reported to the stewards.
I can understand that.
Made Verstappen
that is dangerous. That is definitely dangerous. So that does make sense.
more popular within the Formula One community, as most people labelled it the Verstappen rule. Eventually, this rule was dropped in 2017, and since then, Max Verstappen has gone on to win multiple titles while smashing several records. But
it makes sense to me that you couldn't because that can be dangerous, to the driver behind you, breaking in. If they gotta take evasive action, it can be scary. But I guess it was dropped, so I guess it wasn't that dangerous to them.
Exactly are these records, and how did he break them? Well, click this video to find out.
That's all we got for this one, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up. It's your boy Neal, out.